What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk channel. We discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So on today's episode, I'm going to discuss how marriage can make you wealthy. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves. I actually got through that part pretty quickly today. Good to go. All right, let's get into it. So why do I say marriage can make you wealthy? Well, I'm speaking from experience because I'm married. I've been married 19 years to my lovely wife. And let me tell you, folks, if you were a guy that was not raised by a male figure, whether it be like your real father, stepfather, an uncle, some best friend of your mom's that comes around and helps your mom out, things of that nature. If you didn't have an example like that in order to take care of your wife and just take care of a woman, period, you can have a really hard time trying to keep a woman, because your looks and your charm can only get you so far with women. Because at some point, the woman's gonna get tired, and once you get tired and don't start not caring anymore, it's pretty much a wrap. I'm telling you what I know, folks. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to lead into why I'm saying that marriage will make you wealthy, because you have to nurture your wife, right? If you nurture your wife, then the wealth will come, because she is your wealth. The Bible says that I'm not quoting the Bible line for verse or whatever, but the Bible says that when a man and woman join together, they become one, right? So of course we all understand that that if you're in a job environment or a military environment, teamwork makes the dream work, right? So it makes sense that having a wife can make you wealthy, because you have a teammate. You got somebody that can help you out, right? Now, let me go ahead and make a disclaimer here when it comes to marriage and it comes to gender roles. So my wife helps me out immensely when it comes to a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I am the head of the household. I am the man of the house. That's what the Bible says. You are the head, not the tail, right? So the ultimate responsibility on the home and the marriage is on me, right? So I want men to understand this very much so, right? If your marriage fails, it's on you. Wives are the weaker vessel. Women are the weaker vessel, right? Now I do understand that there are some women that are, there's just some no good women out there, just like there's no good men, right? So I totally get that, right? But that also comes with having discernment as far as who you marry, right? Because you are the one that holds the key to marriage. The man does, because he's the one that gets on one knee and proposes to the woman, right? So you married her. So I know a lot of guys will get frustrated and be like, man, my wife ain't acting right and everything. Well, you married her, right? You made a conscious decision to get on one knee and put a ring on her finger, right? So the least you can do is nurture her enough to where she starts acting right? And if she doesn't, then so be it. You have to make a man decision and decide whether you're going to stay in that situation or not, right? But you married her, right? So I don't condone divorce at all, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say that infidelity can play a huge role in divorce, but that's not what this video is about, right? I'm just pushing that out there to have folks have a true understanding of why marriage can make you wealthy. That's why I say these things up front. So, remember I said about, not having a male role model or a male figure in the house, or just somebody around to help you out. For the most part, if you had one, he should have told you and taught you about finances, right? And if he didn't, then shame on him, right? And if he had a father that didn't teach him, then shame on his father, right? Because we're the ones supposed to be the breadwinners of the house, right? So I didn't have a male figure to help me out with how finance worked. I had to figure this thing out on my own. However, my wife was a huge role in helping me find out. Would it be like through some extreme motivation, like you need to get your stuff together, for lack of better words, or or it was just a push, you know what I'm saying? Because she loved me, obviously, you know what I'm saying, and she wanted me to be able to be the man that I needed to be for the household, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, because like I said before in the previous video, I could be really on the extreme alpha male side of the house, But at the end of the day, I'm a teddy bear when it comes to my wife, you know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I did not listen to her. I did not take her counsel. I did not take her advice on some things. But I gotta be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Because I do understand that there's red pill scenario out there to where, you know, the man supposed to be extremely masculine. And I'm not taking anything away from that, you know what I'm saying? To be quite honest, I do believe in a lot of that. I really do, you know what I'm saying? However, as a man, you do have to understand where your weaknesses are and where your shortcomings are. And in finances, I had some shortcomings. Believe that. I had some shortcomings, you know what I'm saying? And my wife helped me with that in a tremendous way, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that she had, you know, her dad and her mom teaching her about finances for us, like, you know, how to invest and you know, some other, you know, hacks that some parents help their kids with. But her mom and her aunt owned the restaurant for years. I think like almost 20 years. Before that, her mom was a entrepreneur, and she ran her own restaurant, like a smaller one. I think it was like a bar. And then before that, she was a cook on military installations and some other places. So her mom, for a long period of time, since she was a very young adult, worked for herself a lot of times, right? So that helped her with understanding how to manage money, because, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, if you don't work, you don't eat. Unless you have some investments that are, you know, that bring you income every month for whatever interval it is. But it takes a while for that to start off. And a lot of folks don't have, you know, that rich person privilege to where they have a parent that say, here you go $100,000, here you go $200,000, go ahead and make something for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So they have to pull themselves up from their bootstraps and get it. And that's what her mom did. And that's what helped her understand how money works to a certain degree. Now, once we got together and we got on the same page, things started working out a lot better than what it was before, because I was trying to handle things myself and it wasn't working out too well. I explained in the video before that you know, I had some situations to where you know, finance is really bad back in during the recession in 2008, and you know, it got really bad. It really did. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest, because I was in the military at the time, because I was getting a steady paycheck, I don't care what rank I was, I don't care how much little bit of money that I was making, there's no reason why I should have been in a situation like that, because you have folks that had lost their jobs and were still being able to make it for their family. You know what I'm saying? I was getting a guaranteed paycheck. As long as I didn't put myself in a situation to where I was going to get put out, I was getting a paycheck every 2 weeks the whole time. So if I was getting a paycheck the whole time, guaranteed, not include tax money at the beginning of the year, because they took a lot of taxes out. So for like 3 years straight, I was getting like no less than $4,000 back. You know what I'm saying? Every single January, February when I filed my taxes. So why in the world was I still broke? Well, I was trying to handle it myself, and I wasn't allowing my wife to come into the finances. Once she did that, boom, things started working out for us. So that's one of the reasons why I say that marriage can make you wealthy, right? Also, having a good wife that's able to nurture you, being able to understand how you work, understanding how a house works, being able to keep the house straight in all aspects. If you have children, making sure that, you know, that she's able to nurture the kids and be able to take care of that aspect. When a wife makes things easy for her husband, it is so much easier for the husband to take care of the wife. And also, it's very easy for the woman to be in her feminine when it comes to those type of things. And I mean, it's just real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be nurturing to each other. Now, I do understand that, you know, as far as guys are concerned, guys not very emotional beings. I'm one of them, right? And there was a lot of times early in the marriage where I really didn't take my wife's feelings into consideration. I said what I wanted to say when I said it, which did not go over very well. And I just didn't understand that what I said and how I said things really affected my wife. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that you should totally sugarcoat every single thing you tell your wife. But what I am saying is that, you know, to be a good husband, you have to really, really understand women. You have to really understand how your wife works, especially. You know what I'm saying? Because every woman is different. So you have to do a little bit of homework and a little bit of studying, right? And I mean, it goes against our nature. It really does. You know, being able to try to understand feelings for our wives goes against our nature. And I don't think women understand that a lot. It really goes against our nature. Most men don't want to deal with women's feelings. They really don't. However, if you want to have a good marriage, you want to have your wife help you build wealth, you're gonna need to figure it out, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna need to figure it out, seriously, because a happy wife is a happy life. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I cannot stress that any more than what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can be an alpha male and still be nurturing to your wife's feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? At all. You would get a lot more out of your wife by doing that versus you trying to be versus you being, extremely alpha, and you're not taking anything into consideration what your wife is doing or how your wife feel. That's not a good look, because I'm telling you right now, I don't care how much of an alpha you are, outside of your wife being scared of you, which that shouldn't be the case, but let's say your wife is not scared of you from a physical aspect, right? Because she shouldn't. She should be comfortable with you. And you're just not being considerate of her feelings. Guess what? She's not going to be there too long, man. Or she's going to be there, but she's not going to be there, if you know what I mean. She's going to be out there somewhere. Her mind's going to be out there somewhere. And once that happens, guys know how to spit game, man. I'm one of them, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me for saying this, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, I could talk a woman's drawers off, no problem. You know what I'm saying? I've done it plenty of times before. But guess what? I can do the same thing for my wife too. You know what I'm saying? And that's the big key. You know what I'm saying? You have to get into your wife's psyche and understand how she works. And once you do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, once you come on board with you and she's comfortable with you, your wealth is going to skyrocket. Your money's going to skyrocket, I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? When you get married, like I said before, you become one. So you have to keep your wife involved with the finances. You really do. There's no reason why you should not be. There's a reason why you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do understand there are some guys that will do that, as far as like they'll just be the person that will be in charge of all the finances, and they won't have their wife be in charge of anything. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Whatever dynamic for your marriage works, however it works, then you do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling anybody to change their dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that for myself, I've needed to bring my wife on board. And also, you can't hold all the keys to the castle, because what happens if you become incapacitated? There's been so many scenarios out there to where the guy held everything to themselves for like finances and all these other things, and the husband passed away, Lord forbid, and then the wife is literally up the creek because she doesn't understand anything about the finances, anything about what's going on in the house, anything about what her man or her husband had going on that was very important towards the household. When you keep your wife in the dark with a lot of things, it brings problems. It really brings problems, and it could be a serious problem for your wife. Now, do you want to pass away from here and have your wife stressed out because it's something you did? Because it's something you didn't bring her on board with. If you're comfortable with that, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I know for myself, I cannot do that. I need to be able to leave my wife with something to the point where she's able to have everything lined out for her and she has nothing to worry about. I have a person that I go to church with, one of the mothers of the church. Her husband died about 3 years ago. He was retired military. And I'm telling you, man, when he passed away, her life didn't skip a beat. I'm talking about this guy had everything in line. I mean, she had nothing to worry about. It was almost like he didn't die. It was almost like he wasn't there. It was almost like he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like literally her life did not skip a beat outside of her grieving for her husband. Obviously, they've been married for over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So they've been married for a very long time. But as far as her lifestyle, nothing skipped a beat. Like everything stayed intact. Her house is paid for. Everything was paid for. They have investments. She was still working. She quit her job. I mean, her life is easy. Outside of, like I said, outside of her husband passing away, her life didn't skip a beat. And that's because that her husband made sure that she was taken care of. But guess what? They built wealth together. You know what I'm saying? He helped her and she helped him. I know this. So anyways, hopefully this actually gave some inspiration to some guys. I know I said more about some other things about marriage outside of the wife being able to help you build wealth, but I had to put those things in there to put you guys in perspective, the men in perspective, as far as like how important it is to nurture your wife in order for her to help you build wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do understand about the red pill thing, that you're supposed to have wealth already, and I agree with that. If you're young, you need to be out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? So you can have something as a foundation for a woman to come into your life. You know what I'm saying? Build the foundation first, obviously, but the foundation has to be built upon for you to get more. like a skyscraper is. You know, so you have a nice foundation, and you keep building and building and building until you finish. And skyscraper is really, really tall. So how tall your skyscraper going to be with your wife? You know what I'm saying? You have, in order for you to that skyscraper to hit the clouds, you have to work together, and you have to help your wife be in a comfortable situation. And when she do, she will help you build wealth. I promise you she will. Like, comment, and subscribe. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves. Find that fitness and folk. Triple F, I'm gone.